Welcome back to the channel. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna edit that out. I completely went brain dead there for a minute. Welcome back to the channel, and we are back over in Cold September, and we're just looking at this replay from base number one. I didn't want to make my other video like 40 minutes, but from the feedback I get from my viewers, the vast majority of people don't mind when I do like a longer breakdown. So I'm gonna continue doing that. Maybe one day I'll get enough people who say like, "Hey, you're taking too long," but I enjoy doing a long breakdown because uh, it lets you pick my brain, lets me pick your brain, kind of thing. It's kind of the best of both worlds. So again, sticking with the trend, Lalo God Ghost. Uh, Probably not the best design base, right? And we're gonna kind of see why here. All right, so as always, starting with the basics, cutting the base right down in half. You ever notice that whenever we do this, there's always like a dead space, like right in the middle, like this one right here? It's always weird. I didn't really notice that until I started like actually cutting it in half. And anyway, so I had a base that I built that was very similar to this, with this wall segment like this, the stair stepper. Mine was just shorter. I cut mine off like here. So I knew that base got crushed with a queen charge in here. So that's immediately what popped in my mind. And then, but no, it's kind of hard because what I was thinking was if I get a wall break here, I could freeze here. What put me off of that was the CC. So obviously I'm going to be engaging the CC while engaging Inferno and the scatter shot and probably the queen. And I just didn't want to deal with that many freezes. So sweeper pointed this way, sweeper pointed this way. Sorry for the mess, but that's kind of these are my free areas right here, okay? 12 and 6. How am I going to deal with the scatter shots, the eagle, the queen, the RC, and the town hall? Those are like the big things with a Sui Lalo, right? So I can't fly towards 3, and I can't fly from 3, and I can't fly from 9. I can fly from 6, and I can fly from 12. Now, let me go ahead and just fix that. I don't want to make you think that you cannot. It is not ideal to fly into a sweeper. You fly like perpendicular to a sweeper, okay? And then eventually you will probably have to go into the sweeper with some of your loons, but it's not a big deal. This sweeper is pretty deep in the base. Both of them are. So like if I'm flying from this direction, which I mean, newsflash, I'm coming like this. This sweeper is not going to really cause any issues until around the town hall, and by then I should be very close to the sweeper itself. So not a huge deal, right? All right. So Sui Lalo. I need a lot of value from my heroes because my heroes are worth a lot, especially when I put healers on them. So how do I get value with my heroes? Well, we'll start with the king. So what do I want my barbarian king to do? Well, I want the barbarian king to kill the enemy barbarian king because I want my RC to get a scatter shot. So with a royal champ, generally there's only 3 buildings that are really worth going for. One is a scatter shot, one is the eagle artillery, the other is an inferno tower, whether it be single or multi. Your RC is not going to be able to sui for the town hall because unless you quake it, the town hall is not going to be active. So I know the town hall is most important, but bear with me. I want the RC not only to get that, but I also want the RC to cut this whole entire compartment off from the base. Like I want it to be its own island. So I'm going to send the RC in here, and I'm going to put the king here. King's going to like do a king trade. And I'm actually going to wall break here, but it's not going to matter. RC is going to clear everything in here. King's going to kind of wrap around, which is actually going to be super helpful because he's going to tank this Inferno with the barbarians. And so here we go at 9 o'clock. That compartment's done. That's one scatter shot, right? So I haven't got any of the enemy heroes. It is essential that you get the enemy RC and the enemy queen on a Sui Lalo. You have to do it. So we're going to get to that. So I'm going to mark off in red what I've already claimed with my heroes. And then what I'm going to do is while my king's doing that, I'm going to get like early cleanup troops and some down here. And what that's going to do is just because these buildings aren't in range, it's, Sui Lalo can be kind of like a lengthy setup. So what I want to end up doing is having some cleanup done throughout the entire attack. So it's not just like a all my loons are down, all my spells are down. Okay, now clean up. It's like, where can I get some cleanup down? And when do I have a second to breathe? And during that time to breathe, I need to be putting cleanup down. So the next part of the Sui is, so the king's going to be coming like this around the walls. I'm going to put a wizard in to get down this army camp. Probably not needed, but then I'm going to send in an ice golem towards this cannon, and then my queen right behind. So what that's going to do is it's going to start picking off these buildings. And I didn't want, I mean, obviously I wanted this air defense to go down. I didn't expect it to go down. So this is where I get the enemy RC. I do not get this Inferno, but it's a single Inferno, so it's not going to really hurt my Lalo at all. What's important is I get the ring around the Inferno, and then this archer tower and cannon and mortar are essential because this is where I start planning my Lalo. So the rest of it was like cutting off big swabs at a base. Hang on, let me close this door. Sorry for the helicopter sound. Doing a little bit of air assault stuff out here. All right, so the heroes get big chunks of the base. Now what I'm going to start doing is looking at smaller chunks of the base, and what I mean by that is I've got the RC, I've got one scatter, I've got an air defense, I got really good pathing, right? So I need to start looking at the enemy queen and this next scatter shot as my key buildings of interest. Now this expo is on ground, this one's on the ground, these two are on air. So there is still some pathing to be created, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to float a couple loons here, and then I am going to send the blimp directly at the queen. I'm going to invest a rage, a freeze, so we'll go white, and a poison, because I don't know what's in the CC, but it's going to kind of slow everything up. Okay, and I'm going to have a dragon and 5 balloons in there. And what that's going to do is clean up everything in here, right? So everything in here should go down. And those couple loons are going to take this archer tower down. So now if you can see, I'm going to mark off everything that I've cleared. So let's just use this as an example. Everything down here is dead. You can kind of see where I'm coming with the Lalo here, because the sweeper's pointed this way. So I'm going to be able to kind of sneak in, right, like through the back door right here. Queen's dead, big Lalo coming in. My Sui is kind of massive, so I have a lot of percent. So let's talk about the Lalo. Well, my Sui was pretty massive, so I'm not really worried about percent. I should activate the Town Hall by the time my loons get there. That's another reason why I'm putting cleanup down early, right? Every 3% counts. So let's talk about the Lalo. If I go 4 loons here, 4 loons here, 4 loons here, 4 loons here, all right? Loons come in towards the bomb tower, loons come in towards the wizard tower, and then everything's pathing this way. And I'm going to send in 1 lava hound to tank this air defense, okay? So this is all, I think all of this goes down. I'm not sure if that topside expo goes down, but if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. So 4 loons, 4 loons, 4 loons, lava hound, ward. So I'm looking at all my loons pathing this way. What I need to be worried about with a big Lalo like this is the Eagle Artillery is going to be firing on my Lava Hound. If I haste too early, all my hounds, all my loons are going to be on top of that hound when that Eagle Artillery goes off. And if 3 shells from that Eagle Artillery go off, and then this Wizard Tower locks on my like a huge group of loons, I've just lost all those loons. So you're going to see I'm very patient with my first haste. And then once the shells land, I'm actually going to freeze the artillery. That way I get into the town hall without dealing with the eagle, right? And then up here, I always kind of preach this with my Lalo, but these are like your anchor buildings. So what's going to happen here is you're going to get like I really wanted this direction so I could wrap this way, but I end up coming in this direction. Get a haste down here. I'm going to have a haste like here. And then I was trying to haste out of the Giga, and I end up dropping a freaking rage spell like too early. but I end up saving a couple freezes than what I thought I would need. So let's go ahead and just mark off. I'll just use X's this time. So all this is accounted for, and then my Lalo is coming through this way. Now let's go to the farthest out that the Lalo is going to be. So I have like this big wide berth. Oops. And the way I'm going to utilize that is, it looks really wide, but it's really not. It's one of those kind of not catch-22. I don't even know what to call it. But it's like an illusion, right? The pathing, if you color it, is actually pretty tight. It's just spread because of the trash buildings. But the reason why you're using a Lalo is because everything targets defenses, right? So it's actually tighter than it looks. And then obviously I'm leaving the eagle to the back end, but when I get this rage down here, what's going to end up happening, I'm going to have a split go that way and a split goes that way, and I have like a bajillion loons left. So this was a very fun attack to do. I really enjoyed kind of just, I like the big Suis, and you know, when things work, they look good. Sui Lalo is always like very satisfying. So let's get into the replay, check it out, kind of see the setup. All right. Oh, I brought one Valkyrie too. Valkyries for the builder hut. Let's see. Kind of taking my time. Start with the RC, get her moving, and then king, and then boom, ability pretty much immediately. Getting the wall break because I wanted the RC to go down towards the wizard tower and the air defense. She ends up, the king ends up not going into base, so she ends up having to solo the scatter shot. So what I do is I start my queen early with the ice golem. I knew she wasn't going to get the air defense, but what I was hoping is if I could clear these buildings, that the king would tank the inferno and the wizard would get it, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But my queen's going to cooperate. Now, if this air defense wouldn't have went down, it would have been big trouble for my Sui Lalo. So queen kind of pulls off a gangster move here and goes back and gets it for me. All right. Now, as you can see, I already had cleanup there at 6, and I had cleanup at 9. So these minions are already cleaning up a couple of buildings. Defense is going down, and boom. So I send in the blimp. The blimp's going to take down that mortar. Here comes those trail loons. Just going to clean up my pathing. The blimp doesn't get very far, but whatever. There's the freeze, there's the poison, everything's jolly good. And here's the Lalo. 4, 4, 4. Now watch how patient I am with the... So I got 10 loons and 1 hound left. I'm really patient though. Like really, there we go. Eagle landed. And I swagged the rage over the eagle thinking I was freezing it. What a nub. What a scrub. I didn't even realize I did that. This is my first time watching the replay. Man, this would have been OP as hell. Jesus. Now I know what they were talking about in chat. They were like, nice swag rage. I thought they were talking about another. Dang. So I end up freezing. I freeze the sweepers and the eagle. Dang, I still had a lot of loons left. I am OP at Lalo. Fear me. Look at that hound. Pops. Plenty of cleanup. And like I said, guys, I got cleanup all over the base. I had a ton of time left on this hit. Bunch of minions, bunch of pups. Like 15 loons, you know. Little sneaky 15 loons, you know. 1 archer. And a swag rage. Man, I didn't realize I did that. I am a nub. But yeah, I mean, you guys can kind of see that's a perfect example. Shit goes wrong. You know, even good players have messed up, you know, swag spells. So, Clash United, man, they're a rough opponent. They're putting it on us right now. We're sticking in there, but they're putting it on us for sure. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed doing it. I love bringing you guys the Sui Lalos, Queen Charge Lalos. Don't expect too many of them, but I do them occasionally. I'm going to be bringing some more replays from this war, some highlights, maybe some Town Hall 12s and 11s and stuff. And I'm going to try to pack out some content for you guys because I missed a couple days and I feel bad about it. So thank you for joining. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Big shout out to my beautiful wife at home. I don't want to say for sure that I'm going to see you this month, but it looks that way. So I love you very much. Hope you have a great day. All right, guys, take it easy.